Our book is called Can You See Me? And it tells the story of 11-year-old Tally as she transitions from primary school into year 7. Tally is autistic and she works really hard to hide her autism and do what she thinks she needs to do to fit in with everybody else. But when you're as fierce and wonderful as Tally is, it is very hard to keep your true self hidden for too long. I am going to read from the first part of chapter 1, but stay tuned because after the reading, I've got a challenge for you guys coming up. Look up. Go on, do it now. Stretch back your neck and stare up as far as you can. And then a little bit more. That's where you're going to have to look if you want to find Tally Olivia Adams. Up where the sky begins, up where the only rule is gravity. Up where the world seems small and not so important. Up where the possibilities are endless. It's the final days of summer kind of afternoon. Fluffy white clouds are scudding across the pale blue sky and the air has a hint of something fresh, something new. A normal day on a normal street in the back garden of a normal house belonging to a completely normal family. Read that last sentence again, out loud to yourself. It's funny how if you say it enough times, the word normal sounds anything but. So, a normal day. But the girl standing on the roof of the garden shed is not normal in the slightest. She is a warrior, fierce and brave, surveying the land before her. She's a mountain climber, pausing for breath after scaling the heady heights of Everest. She's a trapeze artist, about to step out onto the wire and dazzle the crowds beneath her. Her right foot rises in the air, shaking slightly as she contemplates the drop. One wrong move and it will all be over. Hey, get down! The shout makes Tally wobble, and for a split second it seems as if she will tumble to earth. But then her foot makes contact with the roof and she lowers herself to the ridge, sitting with her legs dangling out in front of her. You nearly made me fall. Tally glares at Nell accusingly. Are you trying to kill me? Nell puts her hands on her hips. You seem to be doing a good enough job of that by yourself. What are you doing? You know Mum and Dad said you aren't allowed to go up there anymore. Not after last time. Tally shrugs. It's my place. I'm practising the things I learnt in circus school last week and I can't think anywhere else. It's the holidays. Nell taps her foot impatiently. There isn't anything to think about, so just get down. Tally wonders if her sister has always been this unimaginative or if it's something that happens when you start high school. If that's the case, then she's even less keen for this week to be over and September to begin. Is it true that people flush your head down the toilet when you're in year 7? She asks Nell. Because if it is, I won't be able to drink anything all day in case it makes me need to use the bathroom, which means I'll be seriously dehydrated and my brain won't work very effectively and I'm probably going to fail every single test. And it won't even be my fault, because all I'll be trying to do is stay as far away from the school toilets as humanly possible. Nell snorts. Only the mouthy kids that don't know when to shut up. A warm breeze flutters through the garden, picking up the leaves that have fallen onto the lawn. They weren't there last week, and their russet red shine against the long green grass is a reminder the summer can't last forever. Her days at home are numbered. What happens if I get lost? Tally's voice is quiet. Nell pushes her hair out of her eyes and squints up at the roof. Then the two-headed monster that lives in the caretaker's cupboard will find you, she says as menacingly as she possibly can, and it will drag you in and keep you hostage amongst the brooms and mops and buckets, and you will have to stay at school for the rest of your life. Tally doesn't even blink. She isn't afraid of made-up monsters. There are far scarier things roaming the school corridors than two-headed beasts. She's quite certain of that. Come on, Tally. Nell's impatient now. Get down from there. I'm totally not in the mood for Mum and Dad giving me another lecture about how I should be keeping an eye on you, like you're some kind of baby or something. I'm not a baby, and I didn't ask you to come out here. Tally glares down at Nell. Just go away and pretend you didn't see me. Well, you're lucky it was me that caught you and not them. Nell frowns, imagining the argument that would have followed if her parents had spotted their youngest daughter on top of the shed. Tally shakes her head. She doesn't feel very lucky to have moaning, nagging, boring Nell ruining her thinking time. You'll be grounded for a week if they see you up there, warns Nell. They won't even let you into the garden if they think they can't trust you. Tally looks away from her big sister and across the garden fence towards the street. She knows that if she stands up, she can see between the houses and as far as the park. She can see further than Nell can. Up here, she's weightless and free, the opposite of grounded. Where are they? She asks Nell. Mum and Dad? Nell glances back towards the house, which is almost hidden by the old apple tree sagging under the weight of all the unpicked fruit. The entire garden has turned into a jungle this summer. They're out by the front gate talking to Mrs. Jessup and her gross dog, she tells Tally. I don't know how she can take it for walks when it looks like that. It's embarrassing. It's not Rupert's fault he's only got 3 legs. Tally's unimpressed with Nell's attitude. Don't be so horrible. Think how you'd feel if you had 3 legs. You wouldn't like it if people thought you looked gross, would you? Nell rolls her eyes. Whatever. But I wouldn't go outside either. I wouldn't force other people to look at my freakiness. Now get down before they come out here and see you. She waits for a response, but Tally isn't listening. Instead, she is clambering to her feet and balancing on the roof, shading her eyes with one hand as she peers into the distance. So here is my writing challenge to you. When I was 8 years old, I started writing a diary, and it was keeping those diaries for quite a number of years until I was 21 that got me into writing my very first book. In Can You See Me, Libby wrote diary entries from the point of view of Tally, and my challenge to you is to have a go at writing your own diary entries. Now, you could do this from your own point of view. Certainly there's enough going on in the world at the moment that would mean you have quite a lot to write about. Or you could write diary entries from the point of view of one of your favourite book characters. It's up to you. So in Can You See Me, Tally rates each of her days with an anxiety rating. My diaries when I was younger, I used to love doing a rating, but my rating was based on how great the day had been. So I would have a 5-star rating for a fantastic day and a 1-star rating for a terrible day. So you might want to think about how you might choose to rate your days. Post anything that you've written that you'd like to share with other people below. I will look forward to reading them and any questions that you might have. Good luck to everybody, and well done to all of you who've taken part in this year's Bibliobuzz challenge.